3.4 protein or 4.3 fat, around about 10,000 लीटर ये थ्रू आउट द ईयर लेते हैं। और जिसमें बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम डेयरी फार्मर्स, आज मैं पहली दफ़ा ऑस्ट्रेलिया में 2003 से हूँ। पहली दफ़ा पर्थ आया हूँ और ये फिर पर्थ से साउथ तकरीबन 2-3 घंटे की ड्राइव है। ये क्यों आया हूँ, ये आप इस इंटरव्यू को लाजमी सुने, वो इसलिए कि मेरी बड़ी ख्वाहिश थी कि मैं रे से मिलूं। रे किचन ये ब्रीडर भी है और ओनर है करिंडा होल्स्टेन का। और जो करिंडा होल्स्टेन से तकरीबन हमारे जो पाकिस्तान में मोस्टली जो बुल हैं यहाँ इस बंदे ने ही क्रिएट किए हैं। तो मैं इतनी दूर ट्रैवल करके ऑलमोस्ट 4.5 घंटे की फ़्लाइट और फिर यहाँ आया इसलिए कि मैं थोड़ा सा सीख सकूं कि ये ब्रीडिंग कैसे करते हैं, ये कैसे इतना इसका पीछे अमेजिंग हर्ड, ऑफ कोर्स उसकी तस्वीरें भी और वीडियोस आपको दिखाते हैं और जो उसके नंबर्स बोलते हैं वो भी आपके साथ हम शेयर करेंगे। पर रे के साथ जो है इसकी ज़ुबानी सुनते हैं इसकी स्टोरी, तो आपके लिए बड़ी लर्निंग कर्व होगी और बड़ी प्रिविलेज की बात है कि आज हमारे साथ ये है। Ray, thank you very much first for giving us the time. It was my always sort of, you can say, dream to come here and have a look at your herd because we've got a lot of your heifers through your bulls, and we, you know, some milking obviously from a previous human and they're doing wonderful, and we have a lot of your progeny throughout the Pakistan. So we'll get there, but first can you tell us a little bit about Corinda, what Corinda Holstein is about?
Well, pleasure having you here, Hass. Well, Corinda Holsteins has been around for about 60 years now. My parents started the farm here 60 years ago, and with breeding and with the idea of breeding superior cattle, and first of all focused on conformation, and we've established a good line of conformation cattle. We've always herd recorded here, twice a day herd recording every month, and I think that's helped to select to see which are the better production cattle in the herd all the time, and from that we select the best bulls to mate to our best cattle. So we're using semen from different countries that we think will adopt to our conditions here. Some of the main priorities are protein and butterfat production with moderate milk. We're also looking at the fertility and cell count over more recent years, but it's been production and conformation for quite a while. And
I'll come to that production part.
Okay.
First, I want to know the creation of the bulls you have, and then we'll tilt towards your production. So basically, Ray का कहना है कि ये 50-60 साल से ब्रीडिंग लाइन पे वर्क कर रहे हैं। 2 दफ़ा ये हर्ड रिकॉर्डिंग की इन्होंने, और उस हर्ड रिकॉर्डिंग से फिर इनको अलाइन की इन्होंने उस कैटल को, फिर उससे वो बेस्ट बुल ज्वाइन किया, वो जो आजकल वो जीनोमिक्स के थ्रू होता है। पहले इसको ऑफ कोर्स डाटाबेस के थ्रू ये करते रहे फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम। तो फिर इन्होंने अपनी प्रोडक्शन स्ट्रेटजी ब्रीडिंग स्ट्रेटजी बताई कि क्या क्या कंपोनेंट इसमें देखते हैं। मगर इंटरव्यू के मैं थोड़ा सा दूसरे हिस्से में इनसे पूछता हूँ। I'll come straight to the point, right? That's the reason why I'm here. We obviously using Pilbara, we're using Pemberton, now we're using varley, and we're looking forward to use Victoria pretty soon, and there's a lot of excitement about because he's red and white. And obviously you have number of other, your highest BPI bull in the country, Sundalo, is again belongs to you, and there are number of other bulls which I can't mention here. What do you do so special that you're creating all these bulls?
Well, I'm not sure I can answer that exactly, but I think it's just been the longevity of breeding for these traits that are important, protein and butterfat production, with good amount of milk, not too high in milk. So we got the milk solids rather than producing extra volume of milk which is just water. And then with the conformation, it's having a look at those sort of traits that aren't sort of traits you can't see, but they're measurable now with the breeding values. And also what the community is wanting from our cattle. Breeding for the pole genetics has become an important part. Feed efficient sort of animals as well. That's the sort of animal we're trying to breed here, and I think if you sustain that sort of direction for long enough, they're the sort of cattle that will come to the top. So
So रे का ये कहना है कि पहले जो चीज़ें आपको उस तरह विजुअली नहीं नज़र आ सकती थी, जैसे मिल्क है, बटर फैट है, प्रोटीन है, अब क्योंकि वो मेजर कर सकते हैं थ्रू जीनोमिक्स, तो एक उस ब्रीडिंग स्ट्रेटजी को, फर्टिलिटी को देखते हुए, कंफर्मेशन को देखते हुए उस स्ट्रेटजीज करते हैं। इसीलिए इन्होंने देखें, हमारे लिए ये सर्विस है, यस हमें इसके पैसे देने पड़ते हैं, बट इतना अमेजिंग हर्ड हम इतना शॉर्ट टाइम में बना सकते हैं। आई थिंक इनको इस चीज़ का बहुत क्रेडिट जाता है। Ray, obviously the milk part you mentioned, and that's particularly related to Pakistan as a dairy farming, because we're just evolving, right? And there's always a debate about, which country produces the more milk and stuff. I think, can you elaborate a little bit on this, that why literage isn't that important anymore in Australia, and you are after basically energy corrected milk rather than just the water? Why it's important? And I think as a developing dairy country, what sort of a message you want to give, that why it's important to have milk, but proper milk rather than just the water?
Yeah. So our payment system here in Australia is mainly based around the milk solids, butterfat and protein. All the rest of it of milk is just the water, and that's a cost. It's a cost. It's something the cows got to deal with. On this farm, our cows will walk probably up to 1.5 kilometres to have their feed, and then walk back again the same distance. They don't need to be carrying large volumes of water with their fat and protein. And when after we get the milk out of the cows, that extra volume's got to be cooled, it's got to be carted, and then when it gets to the factory, that water has got to be disposed of.
Basically farmers, ये बड़ा ही important point है, इसको आपको समझने की ज़रूरत है कि आपको दूध चाहिए, दूध में पानी नहीं चाहिए। पानी ऑफ कोर्स यहाँ पे भी इवॉल्व हुए और हम भी हो रहे हैं, जैसे हमारा 13 TS है, इवेंचुअली हमारा प्रोटीन टेस्ट भी होगा। तो इनको देखेंगे, कह रहा है कि काऊ को पानी कैरी करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं होती, वो उतना खाएगी भी, उतना चलेगी भी, उतना पानी उठा के अगर वो वॉक कर रही है अराउंड, उसमें असल दूध ही नहीं है, यानी प्रॉपर फैट और प्रोटीन ही नहीं है, तो उसका कोई फ़ायदा नहीं। और हम ऑफ कोर्स इवॉल्विंग स्टेज में, दूध तो इनसे जितना मर्ज़ी ले लें, पर आपको प्रॉपर दूध चाहिए। और ये नहीं है कि ये दूध कम ले रहे हैं, मगर इनका जो ब्रीडिंग प्लान ऐसा है कि ये वॉल्यूम के साथ बटर फैट और प्रोटीन को बड़ा इम्पॉर्टेंट है। और हमारे लिए भी कल को हमने प्रोसेसिंग प्लांट में जाना है, तो ये सारा जब दूध फैक्ट्री में जाता है और वहाँ पे अगर पानी का कंटेंट ज़्यादा है, फैट और प्रोटीन का कंटेंट है, तो इनको पेनलाइज करते हैं, इनको बटर जो है कंपोनेंट्स पे इनको पैसे मिलते हैं। Ray, what sort of production you're getting at the moment on sort of, I think it's mixed grass and sort of grain-based feeding system you have?
Yeah, it's a grass or pasture and grain-based system for this 6 months of the year, and probably mid-December it'll start warming up here. It'll get quite hot through our summer months of January and February, and we'll be on a TMR system feeding them pasture silage and hay and grain. What was the other thing you wanted to do?
Production?
Production, we're on about 32.5 litres per day per cow at the moment, but they're producing 2.45 kilograms of milk solids per day per cow. So it's quite high milk solids, high component milk, and that's...
So if you have to, so basically farmers इस time ये 32.5 लीटर कर रहे हैं and 2.5 milk solids कर रहे हैं, so that's about 4.2 fat, 3.4 protein, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit higher than that for fat at the moment. They sort of get up towards 4.6, 3.5, 3.6 sometimes of protein. So that's in the factory. So daily tests.
So farmers 32.5 लीटर और 4.6 फैट और 3.6 प्रोटीन, इस तरह की फार्मिंग जो है मैं भी आफ्टर हूँ और मैं भी आपको भी रेकमेंड करूँगा, जो मैं इतनी दूर पथ से यहाँ चल के आया सिर्फ इसलिए कि मैं इनसे लर्न करूँ और आपको ये मैसेज दूँ। इसमें ऑफ कोर्स जेनेटिक्स कॉल तो ज़रूर होगी, मगर मेन आपके लिए लर्निंग कॉल है कि ये जैसे इसको ब्रीड करते हैं। Just a little bit on a fertility, what sort of conception rate you getting at the moment? Obviously that's one of your key area to focus on, right?
Yeah, certainly it depends on the condition of the cow and how long they've been in calf, but yeah, we usually sort of target that getting up around that 55% on first service. Younger cows and heifers, they'll perform better than some of the older cows, but generally the cows are going back into calf a lot quicker these days since we've had breeding values for fertility.
Yeah, so that's 55% on sync program, right?
We just usually do them on natural heats. Yeah, we've got the collars on the cows that now will identify which cows are on heat, and we have 2 main calving periods, so we usually can pick them up. We'll usually do all the insemination myself over the years. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So ये खुद insemination करते हैं, तो ये round about 55% इनकी जो है conception overall, that's sex and conventional combined, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we haven't used a whole lot of sexed up until now, but yeah, there's some bulls we're using sexed as well. So yeah, we're just mainly using that once off on some of the younger cows.
Yeah. So lastly, before concluding, obviously a lot of young farmers are listening, and as I said, the dairy is evolving. We obviously not there where you are, but obviously some young farmers are getting towards that point. What sort of message you want to give it to them so they can short this span, at least if not get there where you are, but at least get there somewhere where you are?
Yeah, just having a look at your cows and seeing where they're probably deficient in, where areas you'd like to improve the cow. So try to match that up with the traits of the bulls that you're using that will progress forward.
तो मैंने इनसे यही पूछा था कि मेरे यंग फार्मर्स के लिए इनका क्या मैसेज है ताकि ये शॉर्टर स्पैन में वहाँ चले जाएं। ये इधर पीछे आपके basically 111, that's Varley's mother. Sorry, I interrupted. So that's Varley's mother we've got right behind us. And इनका यही कहना है कि इनको पहले आप अपने हर्ड को देखें, अपने हर्ड को देख के फिर आप उसकी सिलेक्शन करें, और यही बेस्ट वे है, और यही हम अपने फार्म पे भी करते हैं। आप अगर जीनोमिक्स नहीं कर सकते तो काउस का मिल्किंग डाटा देखें और फिर उनकी कॉन्फर्मेशन, उनकी टाइप देखें, कैपेसिटी देखें, और फिर आपको इवेंचुअली डेवलप देखेंगे आपका हर्ड कैसे प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी में डेवलप होता है। Hey Ray, obviously you creating bulls on BPI basis, right? Is this system working for you guys now? Or have you converted total on ABVs, or you look at some other indexes as well?
BPI is our main selection that we breed for. The reason we like it is the range of traits that we're breeding for. It suits our needs here. Milk solids, and then there's a whole range of other traits that we want to breed for that help us make a more sustainable herd. Things like fertility, improving mastitis resistance, and also some of the conformation traits are vitally important to our breeding program. So this is why BPI really supports those advancements.
Yeah. So in Pakistan, farmers basically इनका BPI के सिस्टम में बारे में यही कहना, अभी मैं प्रोडक्शन का क्वेश्चन इनसे करूँगा, यही कहना है कि इनको जो अपने कंट्री में चाहिए उस हिसाब से BPI इनके लिए बेस्ट वर्क करता है. हमें जो चाहिए वो ऑफ कोर्स आपने डिसीजन करना है, हमें जो चाहिए वो हमने फ़ैसला किया हुआ है कि हमें अपने फार्म पे क्या चाहिए. फर्टिलिटी से लेकर मास्टाइटिस रेजिस्टेंस तक सारा जो इनको अपने कंट्री में सर्वाइवल के लिए चाहिए वो ये एम्प्लाई भी करते हैं, क्रिएट भी करते हैं. इन्होंने क्या क्रिएट किया हुआ इनके पीछे है, इनके सामने है. लुक, बिफोर वी गो, मोस्ट ऑफ obviously you spoke about production and you gave the literage as well. What you roughly get in 3 or 5 days? I think the farmers be very interested. What do you get in 3 or 5 days? Literage, fat and protein as well.
3 to 5 days.
3 or 5 days.
3 or 5. Yeah. Well, it's just around 10,000 litres of milk. Wise, we're up around 4.3.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, 4.3, 3.4 protein.
So basically 3.4 protein or 4.3 fat, around about 10,000 litre.
Yeah.
ये throughout the year लेते हैं, और जिसमें it has 6 months of grazing.
6 months of pasture and grain, and the other 6 months we're on a TMR system where we feed silage. It's our own pasture that we've made in our spring surplus, and we can serve that into silage and feed it back out in these hot, dry summer months. Yeah.
So basically वही 6 month grazing और थोड़ा of course grain, और 6 month ये TMR पे जाते हैं. So thank you very much. Hope आपको काफ़ी इन्फो मिली होगी. अल्लाह आप सबको खुश रखे, और इंशाल्लाह see you soon in Pakistan.